pushes lobby, gets a kill, goes out. Another guy spams outside, gets a kill, goes out. Burnson finally is going to get punished by Fragedy. And NQZ might be in a bit of a compromised position, especially if he's not quick enough. That's a lovely pre-fire coming out of Tommy.
This has happened twice in a row. Ramp players just collapse instantly. ShindeN have 2 opportunities to cross into this B site, and now MIBR again needing to retake.
What a pre-fire that was out of Tommy. Didn't give the Oper an opportunity. VenomZero needs to try and get that kill.
Oh, Tommy's being such a nuisance, hiding around the smoke. Doesn't have a clue with where his opponent is, but doesn't give him an opportunity to react either. MIBR on the back foot. Insani closing in. He's realized where one of the players are, but realizes also that there may be someone on the upper railing. But ShindeN now starting to feel a lot more comfortable with the status quo. Deliver 2 in a row. This B site is giving them gifts.
Yeah, it's a little bit unnecessary out of MIBR, it feels like, with some of the players, right? I mean, NQZ just gets deleted. Burnson probably doesn't need that type of an aggressive position. It's probably good to just play for information in that type of a 5 versus 3. With Insani, he just missed a little bit, but they were already in the 2 versus 3, so MIBR allowing ShindeN to get back into rounds in which they've lost the opening fights. And instead of this being a 6-1 or a 7-0 even, it's now a 5-2, potentially a 5-3. ShindeN putting up a good shift on that T side. Doesn't seem that far-fetched.
Absolutely doesn't. VenomZero, USP, does find a little bit of damage, but this seems like a formality at this point. Just a clean-up. ShindeN slowing the pace down, knowing that they've done the necessary steps to have the advantage here to close this one out. NQZ, they know that he should be somewhere around here. And the sprays from Fragedy eventually connect on to him. So 3 consecutive for ShindeN. They're starting to build up some speed. And that's where they've been dangerous the past couple of days. MIBR need to be cautious.
I wonder if MIBR can, keep on getting these opening kills, but then try not letting them back in, because it felt like they missed out on a couple of opportunities where they get a 5 versus 3 or a 5v4, but then they're giving away individual fights, right? That's one of the things that you want to try and remove as a tendency. ShindeN have gotten 1 opening kill since the start of this. Well, now it's 2, because in the anti-eco they got another one, but you get the point. They've been struggling to get opening kills, but they're still winning the rounds.
Is LNC playing aggressively? Yes, it is. Past the smoke.
There's no way. They're letting him get out of here.
They couldn't expect it with the life of him.
He's escaped.
He just walked past one of his opponents as well in his efforts to escape. Abis going for the chase. Instead of finding just LNZ, picks up VenomZero as a bonus. But the damage has already been done. So with just a simple trade, it's Nazor by himself now.
LNZ's an absolute thief. Pushing through the smoke and getting a double kill like this. I know Abis was able to find 2 in response, but Nas has got no chance in this one. Just look at the crossfire. He's just going to get shut down from behind by Insani. These aggressive plays in towards single door have been catching the T's off guard time and time again. LNZ's on 9 frags. Look at that. That's such a weird timing. He just catches people with nades out, gets 2 kills and a half, and then Abis did find a response back, but he was never getting out of here with more than the 2 kills. So they're instantly being sent back to ground level, ShindeN. And this is still a half that MIBR could have a pretty decent lead in the end of. If they get 8 or maybe even 9 rounds, they're still going to be happy with it.
Yeah. I feel like the same could be said about ShindeN. This is still a situation in which they can have quite a lot of impact on that T side. So this makes this next round a very, very important one. I think defines how this half will end up. But it's so peculiar how ShindeN got 2 out of the 3 rounds that they did end up winning. That ramp position, being overwhelmed, a few pre-fires here or there. It shows how sharp ShindeN can be, and MIBR need to be wary of that. Again, a pivotal round to the status quo of the half. As ShindeN take it easy at the very beginning.
All right, what's the deal here? What's the call? You've got just the first outside smoke, nothing else. So you just wanted to get one player towards the back of red, and now you're going to throw in the Diagonos to try and help him to get into a better position. But again, grouping up in towards the ramp. That's one of the angles that they found a lot of success towards in the last couple. Burson's alone.
Slowly.
Sani's here.
Moving towards Burners in. Yeah, indeed. Sani just on time, but will be mollied out. So Burners needs to be cautious. Sticks into the corner, and Sani steps forwards as well. Helps out Burners in the process, but Abiz taking down Ivs. Even though his teammate ended up with double kills, will fall by friendly fire. And with that, maybe B-site is malleable. With NQC holding the AWP line, though. Smoked off. We'll have to reposition. 40 seconds on the clock. What's the move by ShindeN?
I think they might have realized the Oper could be here, right? Because they didn't see him in towards the ramp. That's why you're using so many of the smokes, but they will eventually fade away, and they've slowed it down too much. MIBR came very close.
Opening up the door, LNZ now just takes a peek, sees that there's an impending barrage of T players, needs to respect them. NQZ is not given anything. No vision. At the same time, his opponents don't know he's here. Doesn't land a shot. ShindeN, how have they masterfully finessed them opponents here? This B side truly bears fruit with this T side of ShindeN.
Venom Zero's got a chance. Incendiary forced one player out of position. Needs to try and get that kill though, and Nas will just delete him. He could isolate the fights, but can't get out on top. ShindeN get 4 rounds on that T side, and now this game has become a bit more intriguing. With MIBR running out of steam after what was such a good start to that defense. LNZ and NQZ unable to get kills. Nivs is disconnected. So we've got a bit of a technical timeout. A quick reminder for the stake map winner odds. Go and check them out. And same for the weekly reload of $35 over at stake. You can click the banner below the stream. Use code STAR35. Contact the stake support. Deposit minimum of $20 and then receive 5 actually over 7 days.
I've got a question for you. You've been throwing some of these questions my way during this tech pause, but what do you think has been the biggest surprise of the tournament so far? We've had the fair share.
Ooh, biggest surprise of the tournament. That's a good question.
It's a wide bag to pick through.
Yeah.
And it's also, it depends on what you deem as a surprise.
I think the biggest surprise for me was LP against MIBR. I know MIBR won, but the biggest surprise was that LP was literally 1 round away from winning in a 2-0 fashion, right?
Sure.
That would have been a shocker. With everything else, I think we can see a lot more logic behind it. But that result was very weird. I thought that game in general was a little bit weird because I think we're holding MIBR to a higher regard in general. So yeah, the fact that they were so close to dropping a game against the team that they should be beating pretty comfortably, I thought that was a bit of a surprise.
Fair enough. I mean, yeah, you went in the direction that I thought you'd go to. I thought Imperial dropping out was a bit too basic, and it isn't too big of a surprise given the performance that they've had this year. You know, you don't expect them to be phenomenal. I think for me, Vinny was a big surprise, the way he performed, but still didn't matter, right? If you perform like that as an IGL, you hope your team can follow it up. But yeah, what matters at the end is the series win. That hasn't quite happened their way. So, ShindeN now putting MIBR in a really difficult economical spot, recession caused, and a chance for a fifth to be collected on this T side. Impressive stuff, and showing us why Nuke was selected by them.
And honestly, I think that opens a little bit of a Pandora's box if ShindeN are able to win that Nuke. Just because this is one of the most comfortable maps for MIBR usually, so we can't just chug it under the rug and say this is their map pick. So
Fair.
it's fine that they win it. If you are able to best MIBR on Nuke, then why wouldn't you be able to best them on another map? That's the point we're making here. It's not that big of a difference. And as of right now, it's looking very, very good on that T side. And Sunny's playing a revolver, by the way. Gotta respect it. Yeehaw! I'm sorry.
That's your worst cowboy impression ever.
That was a very bad one.
That was horrible, Ted.
Okay, production told me that was fine.
So that's fair. Okay, you get one vote here, Ted. I think this has to be dispute handled by chat. Was that a good cowboy impression or not?
Sure.
I think chat will agree with me.
I think I didn't feel like it was one of my best ones. I've had better ones in my time.
You have. You've set the bar high. Well, ShindeN set the bar higher than expected. 5 rounds already. A very clean one without losing a single player here. MIBR, they could be in danger of being level at halftime, and that is not what you need on the CT side. ShindeN, job's not done. Potential for more damage. We'll try and exploit. And here comes the push. But this time, MIBR not having an issue. Where did that knife come from? Vents. Well played by LNZ. Just lying in wait. Right click. Bob's your uncle. Individual brilliance is required. And Ivs knows of this. Plays a little bit aggressively, but gets caught. Wanted to catch someone off guard, but doesn't end up happening for him. Naz and Tommy now also being discovered. Naz' life is just a formality at this point. He's been spotted, or has he? Yes, he has. Right, so MIBR, even though there'll be a lead at halftime, I feel like there's much left to be desired and a lot of work required on this T side. Don't you think, Ted?
Definitely not going to be an easy job on that second half, but MIBR at least getting that small lead towards the end. A great recovery out of ShindeN, but the second half is definitely going to be a very promising one.
And 7-5 is the score coming into the second half of the first map between MIBR and ShindeN. Upper bracket finals. This one's for the top 2 spot But the only thing that matters in this tournament is first place. MIBR may have the lead, but ShindeN, an impressive end to that half, has given them a living, breathing chance on their own questionable map pick.
Definitely has. But a T-side pistol could put MIBR right on track, and Venom0 and NQ0 looking very sharp at it. That's a great execution with the molly towards the back of the bomb side. Makes it difficult for the CTs to find a comfortable avenue to be on. Naz and Abyss locked out, and that's going to be MIBR potentially picking up both pistol rounds on Nuke.
That's going to make their job a lot easier, isn't it, Ted? I mean, if you keep on winning pistols at follow-ups, even if things go wrong in the buy rounds, which is what happened on the T side, it gives you a bit of a buffer, on the CT side, rather. Gives you a buffer you can work with. Start building up. Ab is also joining in Fraggerty in that one frag department. Naz as well. But this one is for MIBR, and like you mentioned, Ted, the second pistol.
All right, so if they do want to go for a force buy, it's actually probably what MIBR are hoping for, right? ShindeN don't want to let MIBR run away with a bigger lead, but that might be what they're doing with this. You've got 4 or 5 7s and a scout. You better have something in mind, because if you don't make that one work out, you're probably looking at a 10-5 lead for MIBR by the time that you get the guns out. And this is still a dangerous map of Counter-Strike. 5 rounds on the T side is not bad, but it's still a position that you could let slip. You could still lose the map. Needs to stay focused. Ivs has had a good map so far, but it's been more of a team effort. He's gonna have to step it up a little bit more on the scout now. Opportunity will be provided. Flash is good. First tackle lands onto Venom0.
But he still ends up getting the first pick. Not too shabby from Venom. But isn't playing it quite laid back, and it's for good reason. ShindeN playing it aggressive also. Venom0 turning around, realizing what could be happening from the opposing position. But he's figured out that information for his squad. Who's the CTs and who's are the Ts? It feels like roles are a bit reversed with the positions taken up right now.
It's looking like an A-Wrap right now. The bomb is still out in towards Garage. NQZ is going to rejoin with LNZ, and they're going to wrap in towards A, but Insani's gotten dropped.
Oh? Fraggerty also has success on the pistol. Venom0, the only reason why MIBR at a decent position is because he was able to get to. Site control is for theirs, but it's a bit of an illusion given how close Naz it is to this fight. 20 seconds. Tommy ends up with a pick. Naz, surprise. NQZ on that close distance. Venom0 needs the full ace to win this one for his team. Ends up dropping.
Silent dropped.
Doesn't give away the audio cue, which means his opponent could get surprised here. The rap is real, and that is the ace clutch by Venom, and he can't stop laughing from how he achieved it.
I'm not even sure if that was a laugh. I think that was a scream. That was a shout in happiness. Venom0's played this one to perfection. MIBR dodge a bullet. They dodge a massive one, and it's all thanks to Venom0. The full-on ace, all 5 kills. He was down to 4 HP as he decides to go for that drop. And he knows this is the only way he's winning that one. Silent drop, no idea. On the other side of the server, Venom0 with a big play.
Ginormous. Ginormous. He is having a really good game right now. Even before the ace, he had 12 kills to 8 deaths, which was the best score alongside LNZ. Now, on 16, he's loving life, and getting all those kills on the SMG as well has made him rich, handing rifles over to his teammates on the next part of this round. Holy. How about that? Bit of a stunner. Tommy answering with the pistols. ShindeN did make it very close the previous round, right? If you ignore what Venom0 did, which he is paying it with for his crimes right now, he's the first one to fall. ShindeN were able to make it competitive with only pistols. And it looks like they may be able to do the same exact thing right now.
Why are these rounds so terrifying? MIBR just cannot seem to get to a clean conversion. Nas with the 5-7, not a bad position. He's heard him dropping down the vent. LNC decides to stick around, gets 1 kill, but will mean the end of his life to the 5-7. If you get that bomb planted, this is not too bad of an ordeal when you still have a chance, but spam's still gonna come through. It's a miracle that burns down and survives to get that bomb. But NQZ in a 1 versus 3, he knows they've got no defuse kit, but how do you really work around with this one? I guess if you get both these kills, there might have been an opportunity, but Fraggy's just gonna drop him. The eco round goes in favor of ShindeN, and it's Fraggy with a triple.
Just too tough by the end. But ShindeN do it again, right? We're talking about the conversation where VenomZero was able to get the ace and secure the win for MIBR. He needed a bit of individual genius to get that across. But ShindeN made it so damn close. They do the same thing in here. They are a dangerous squad, no matter the weapons that they're holding. Bit of a slap to the face for MIBR, if you ask me. And even though the stake odds do predict MIBR should be getting away with this, ShindeN are making a case for themselves. That's the sharpness we're talking about. If you're able to win 1v1s like that, ShindeN will always stand a chance. NQZ gets caught. It's Ivs, actually, sorry. Fraggy, though. Oh, what a screamer.
Okay,
in.
He's gotten a rifle, and they've dropped 2 more. What are these rounds? What is this Counter-Strike?
It's crazy. So you were saying earlier, Ted, that MIBR were playing with clear protocols. They were playing in a...
Yeah, to hell with that.
In a classic Counter-Strike fashion, clean, representative of their stature right now in the global rankings. No, this is not what we're seeing right now.
No, not really. I mean, you sometimes do need a little bit of a scrap endeavor, but that's 3 versus 5. Great work out of LNZ. Picks up that rifle, AWP, Galil and AK striking people down at the same time. And ShindeN have picked up probably, arguably, one of the most important rounds of this entire map. And then in the subsequent, they lose the most important round of the entire map. They're going to have no money to show for this, but they need to go for a force. I don't think they have a choice. They have to go all in, and that's going to consist of a couple of pistols, an AWP, an M4, and an MP9. And if you lose this round, you're going to be down 11-6. Highly likely 12-6 the next time you have the guns out. This is a golden ticket for MIBR. A red carpet in towards winning and running away with that nuke.
Wow, red carpet has some negative connotations as well in this world, on the T side, in video games. Right?
It's just a positive thing.
Red carpet, you know, you walk, you're a VIP, sure, but red carpet is also a lost streak.
Sure, but that's not what we mean here.
No, I completely understand.
Yeah.
Definitely positives for MIBR. Not me. Aggression shown by him, only good for the one as Insani takes quick vengeance. Abba's looking to be the surprise factor, but Insani again being quickest to the trigger, finding the headshot, and now maybe giving an opportunity to cross into secret. Instead, Insani's the only one to be left there while the rest of the team drop back.
It's such a massive kill as well, because they dropped the M4 in towards outside, and now Insani's just holding. He doesn't get another one, and he didn't spot the second player, so they don't actually get a lot of info out of this, and Ifs is on A with Diop. This could get tricky. It's a game of timings here. Oh my god.
Oh, he's done it again.
Oh, what? No.
Was that a no-scope? A quick scope? Doesn't matter. Still impressive. And a duel created for NQZ. Pistol out. Frag, and he connects first. You cannot make these rounds up. So scrappy, so close. Awesome moments all across the board. But ShindeN somehow find a way to get the dub by the end.
NQZ knew exactly what was going on, but he didn't want to switch to a rifle. He tried to pull out the pistol instantly after planting. He knew that Fragedy was low as well. He just didn't have the time. That was such a sick play out of it. Look at that. Both Opers going above and beyond. Look at that sequence out of NQZ. Fragedy just needed one bullet to connect, and he finds the headshot. We're just going round for round. What a crazy sequence of rounds that's been. The 80k gear giveaway. Make sure you go and click the banner below the stream. Sign up.
When we got rounds or even games defined by such moments. It's definitely a chance for ShindeN after what we just witnessed. Both Orpers going above and beyond as well in that round. And MIBR ushering for potential A hit here. 3 players already just outside of hurt. But if you're ShindeN, they're also making moves of their own, right? They've already pushed past ramp, going into trophy room. Naz plays this one aggressive. Venom's over with a pick, but here comes the backline crunch. Abiz, Tommy both get the picks. Insani wanting to go forward, turns around, gets 2. Keeps MIBR in the fight, but he is low. ShindeN know of this, giving him some space, knowing that the bomb still needs to be collected and planted. But Abiz lobs an HE underhand throw and puts ShindeN right back on the board.
These eco rounds, I mean, it's not even ecos. These force buyer wars have put ShindeN somehow in a very, very favorable position. Usually you see the CT side team come out on the receiving end in that type of an exchange. It's quite the opposite. And now they've picked up 2 in a row. The economy of MIBR is in the bin. They've got nothing to show for anything, and ShindeN can make this a 1-round game. They really brought it back. That's the reason why we were so impressed with these guys in the previous game as well. They've shown very clean Counter-Strike. Surprisingly clean Counter-Strike. That's a nice pick. Oh. Careful now.
He's had a few highlights. He said, it's time for the rest of my teammates to do something.
I mean, they got a bomb plant, and they... you know what? They just saved the AWP and the AK. This is a completely successful eco round.
Right.
In case you're wondering, they just threw the incendiary up because it's bad, because they want a Molotov. They just don't want that nade.
You min-max every round you can, every moment. All right. This truly starting to stack up as an impressive game. MIBR yet to really have impressive rounds on the T side. ShindeN have always made a case for themselves and have ended up winning most of them. Attention given to outside. And while Bernazin attempts to go through vents here, drops back, and it's for a good timing on it as well, because Ibs has walked all the way past Trophy. Open hand as well, slow peeking. He spots a glimmer, thinks better of his angle. Drops back into safety.
Yeah, I like the initiative taken out of Ibs, but he's not committing too much, not letting himself get exposed and punished. MIBR will have to try and work for this. Double cross down. Tommy has not realized he's in a bit of a sticky situation. Running out of ammo, actually. That's a bit of a bummer. And they've lost Fragedy on A.
Yeah, it's a really good pick from Bernazin. The only saving grace is that Naz has the high ground here, but then again, if you've got so many players shooting at you from below, someone is bound to find that headshot. So if you're ShindeN, you're probably waving the white flag here. Job is done by MIBR, courtesy of the first entries.
Yeah, that was... I felt like it was all about the fact that 2 players were able to cross down secret without the CTs realizing and being aware of the timing, right? You just catch Tommy in a very weird timing, same for Fragedy. And Nivs is going to be forced to just hold on to the AWP. Money's not of plenty right now for the side of ShindeN. They should be able to reinvest into the next one, have something to work with, but this is MIBR moving very close to running away with this map. And let's not forget, this is the map pick of ShindeN. Now, it is an upper bracket final, so whoever loses here is still going to get an opportunity to play tomorrow, right? That's the main thing. It's just the fact that if you lose here, tomorrow you have to play back-to-back best of threes. If you win, you've got just one best of three, and that's going to be for instant qualification into the main event. So MIBR can definitely feel like they're almost halfway there.
Very important round ahead for ShindeN. And stake odds getting a little bit closer to MIBR's chances. Yeah, the weekly reload available to you. A banner below for more information. Can MIBR close it out here, or ShindeN? Is it another rabbit up outside of the hat? Out of the hat, rather. It's like they've been able to do all tournament long.
Triple smoke coming in. Again, we're going to see the layer smokes. But this time, Anubis has opened things up. NQZ does find our refrag, so this is quite key.
So, Anubis was mollied. Instead of him dropping backwards, he does go for the forward play. Ivs also returns the favor. Does that trigger MIBR's aggression? It does. Burnerson, where was that from? That's just a ramp play.
Yeah, he wasn't even looking towards the right-hand side, so Nas must have whiffed a little bit. They still have a lot of players in towards lobby, and the Oper is just ignoring the possibility of Venom0 walking through the smoke. This is so terrifying. Have they heard the Ope scope in? They know exactly where the smoke came from, right? You know it came from single door, so if you're Venom0, you're probably thinking, I've got a timing. I can try and punish that over.
Ivs, how many no-scopes is this already in the game? 2 or 3 for sure. But 35 seconds, it doesn't matter if you're flamboyant or not, switches over to the rifle, and Tommy having a flank turns this round on its head. All down to NQZ. 25 seconds. No-scope again? What is going on? A shutdown does come through, but this game is truly being the game of no-scopes.
I don't know what both Opers are on, by the way, but I want some of it. Every single non-scope is connecting for both of them. Ivs is winning the rounds because of it. NQZ is just collecting the style points, but look at that from Ivs. He's been so proactive, and yeah, there's the flick. Ivs is doing so much work on that CT side right now. That was mental.
But the important round from ShindeN is won, right? It's put MIBR now in a difficult position. Tactical timeout taken from them. The first of this game.
One of the reoccurring topics for MIBR has been closing out a map cleanly, right? It's a thing that we've seen be a reoccurring issue for them over the course of the qualifier. Oftentimes, you're going to see them pull off very early and get a nice and comfortable lead and then experience issues. It happened on Nuke against Fluxo, actually, where they had a 10-2 CT side and then they barely closed it out 13-10. Then on Inferno, I guess it wasn't quite the case, but again, against LP, it was difficult for them. Just the Nuke they were able to fly over with, but Mirage was very tight. So it's not the first time we've seen them be in a good position, but then struggle a little bit towards the latter stages.
Down secret MIBR go. I'm being aware of this, but the smoke isn't stopping them. Tries to pre-fight given the sound cues, but this one is a very close and brawly fight, with ShindeN having the upper hand.
Venom0 gets dropped by the AWP, and it's just Burns, and I think they've seen him. Did they? I think they have, yeah. Fraggety's just setting the bait so one player can walk right behind him. And Nas has lost track of him, but the moment that he clears single door, now they know exactly where Burns is coming from. 1 kill granted. 45 seconds. Ivs doesn't miss the shot. ShindeN leveling things up on Nuke. And this one is going to distance. 24 rounds guaranteed. Do we get an OT on map 1?
It's a very possible affair unless ShindeN are able to close it out. Now they're the ones favored, to be fair. Did disconnect halfway through that round, so... Not sure. Ah, there, that's what happened. Fair. These holds from ShindeN, the reactions have been pretty decent. And MIBR are putting all their chips into overtime here. Ted, are we slowly getting an understanding why ShindeN went for this Nuke pick to begin with?
Yeah, I still feel like it was a little bit risky, but they're definitely making it work. They definitely knew something we didn't, but this could be terrifying. Not like this. Not against the pistols. They're already a man down. A couple of guns have been given away. VenomZero is in a very dangerous position. They need to hard clear him. Needs to get the kill. That's a big pickup out of Nas, but the bomb's already getting planted on A.
It's giving them a lot of space. Great flash. Burnison has to look away, but tries to move in the process. Burnison ends up with a trade, but NQZ just gets deleted. Another no-scope from Ibs. What is this guy on? What is he taking? We need it.
Man, I can't believe it. Ibs has done this so many times. He just jumped out of heaven, falls down, gets a no-scope. That's probably a third or the fourth no-scope he's had on this map only.
Easily. Easily.
I'm pretty sure it's 3. 3 I can name off the top of my head.
I'm probably thinking of NQZ's no-scopes because he's had a couple as well.
It is crazy. We're talking about 3 very important no-scopes and important moments by Ivs over the course of one half of Counter-Strike. Everything's working out for him right now. And in 12-11, they get the map point. You get that first map, the predicament changes, then it's going to be a lot easier for you to be playing out until the end of the series. MIBR are going to be the ones thinking about that second map a lot more. They're going to be the ones with all the pressure.
So, MIBR he's banked on this round. Flash, not quite working in favor of MIBR. Instead, Fragedy and Naz are able to answer first. Bomb site secured, but there are CT players lurking. One low, one high. Ibs and vents.
Surely not, right?
Another no-scope?
Not off the ladder. Surely not.
Monidov. So he's going to have to wait a little while. VenomZero trying to play anti. And it's 2 players off of Heaven.
Oh, he can flash for his teammates.
Abiz and Tommy, you're right. And that's the role that Ivs is going to take. A bit more supportive. And he'll be jumping in once his teammates have surprised. But this time, MIBR have the right answers, have the right positions. And overtime is brought to the world.
A 3 versus 5 as well out of MIBR, by the way. May I add? We've had a bunch of these overtime affairs so far in the StarSeries South America close qualifier, and we keep it going. So far, it's been Bestia that's been part of a lot of these. And we start off the day with one more OT affair. I don't think we've had a team that's not played in overtime since the start of the tournament.
That's a shout. I'm not sure. I wonder if we could do that fact-checking in a bit.
I am checking right now. I think it's Fluxo. Yeah, Fluxo's the only team that's not played in overtime.
But they have played a lot of close games.
Well, you'd be surprised, actually. I mean, close games, but maps are very one-sided with Fluxo, yeah. They actually haven't... Yeah, they've played only 1 map, so they've played, how many? 8 maps? Only on 1 map, both teams have gotten double digits.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, very one-sided maps are playing Fluxo. They either lose or win very one-sidedly. Just won 13-10.
It's unable to connect quickly. VenomZero to entry, but there are still players from ShindeN available. Doesn't last long. Is only good for the 1. Look at this positioning created for MIBR. Even though they take ramp control, the fact that Insani gets in Heaven, he's not spotted. There's a high chance they make their way into the safe site. Fragedy aggresses, so has brought the scales to an even level. This is going to be complicated. And the complication has already appeared. Naz over the stairs, ends up with 2, and now VenomZero all by himself. That's impossible to take over. It's hard to keep track of what happened in that round. Perhaps a bit of an overcomplication on MIBR's part.
Yeah, that's... It's again such a weird sequence because it feels like Venom Zero does so much to secure the round, but then it all goes out the wayside.
It's more along the lines of MIBR getting ramp control, nearing in on potentially moving into B, but because they had such a good position, leveraging having control on A, they said, right, 180, let's turn to A. But by that time, losing a lot of control, ShindeN were in difficult positions, and that's how they just take over.
Yeah, sometimes you need to simplify things, right? Sometimes overcomplicating is going to be your worst, biggest enemy. Burnzan. He's actually walked out. We should be looking at Burnzan right now. He's the one in the game-changing position.
Fraggot has also walked right past him. You're right. We should be paying attention to... Maybe back to Burnzan, shall we? Tommy, yet undiscovered. Abbas might get tested here, but Venom is playing a very dangerous game. Hello and goodbye. Oh, God. Hard to keep up. But what's certain is that this A hit is imminent, and Tommy wasn't looking in the right direction at the right time. A 2v4 where Ivs and Fraggoty have so much to do. But with Fraggoty going down, this feels like it is over. Ivs, albeit the brilliance he's brought to the game, this round will not be one of those moments. And a 13-13 is the situation at hand.
Getting 2 rounds on the T side in overtime is absolutely massive if MIBR are able to do that. Also, we have to give a shout out to both Venom Zero and Insani. We were talking so many times about how much MIBR needs 2 out of their 3 star players, NQZ, Venom Zero, and Insani, to activate at the same time, and that's been the case right now. Venom Zero is unstoppable, Insani's picking up the slack, NQZ's had some alright moments, and LNZ's been playing a solid game alongside Burnzan as well. It's a team effort with the stars playing well. And Venom Zero has been electric on some of these entries. He'll swing through the smoke.
Anubis is on the way for it. He can hear the commotion, heard the steps, so pulls the trigger, but impact avoided. Insani wins his own fight against Tommy. This is so strange.
Yeah, they have killed Tommy, and they know he's the guy that usually rotates down secret, right? So you can see Insani taking all of that space. Burnzan's ready for the push.
Picking it for now, spots out the crash peek from Naz, gets away. No, surely not. Tries to go in for seconds. Fraggoty chops his head off because of that greed. I think NQZ could hear the movement back into ramp, so no information of that push just yet. Fraggoty getting himself into an off angle, but doesn't appear to make a difference. LNC lightning quick. Insani reveals himself, showing that the B site is difficult to deal with. MIBR make their choice. A site as well, they'll settle.
Molly down the vent as well. That's not an option. Both players coming in from Heaven's side, rotating away from the ramp and being pretty noisy about it. This should be unlosable, especially with the Util. They just remollied Heaven. They have a bunch of flashes and HE on NQZ. That should be an impossible round to win for Abbas and Ivs.
A little bit ominous, the molly, having them to wait for it, seeing it as it burns ahead of them. Nade softening their opponents up a bit, but it doesn't matter when the last man standing does have an AWP. MIBR as the leaders coming out from the first half of OT.
Now we'll find out whether MIBR can actually punish, right? Because we've seen a bunch of teams have a good opportunity to close out the map over the course of the tournament, miss out on that chance, and then get on the receiving end of it because of not being able to take advantage. Let's not forget, ShindeN did get a map pick. Or did get a map point, sorry. And it is their map pick. They couldn't get it over the line. Now they themselves might be in a position where they need to fight against MIBR to try and extend play. Look at the position from Insani. He decides to go for the drop, but this is smelling confidence right now. It's Spam's gonna come through. They still have burns and down secret. MIBR really want to fight outside here.
They do. And these smokes forcing them to respect it. HG. Oh.
Team kill.
Far from optimal. And that is putting it lightly. Bernison, what a moment to swing. Does get punished, but reveals what the intentions are for his opponents, so MIBR can position accordingly. Bomb has to drop back, 50 seconds, and ShindeN need to make up their minds for a second time. A recommitment into the A site, perhaps.
Steps hurt.
Tommy is being tested from multiple ends. VenomZera closing in. And a 3v2 now, limited HP bars. NQZ has got trophy room covered. Abiz needs a miracle, quite frankly. And it's not going to be an easy affair. MIBR just moving away. Know where Abiz is. Choose to stick together. The only way Abiz comes out on top here if he gets a double kill with his opponent's back turn. This is it. MIBR
He's making steps as well.
To put themselves on map point on their opponent's map pick. ShindeN may have put a valiant fight, but it just may not be enough.
Nice exit kills coming out of Abyss. It doesn't really make any difference though, right? NQZ's gonna hold on to an AK. He's got plenty of money for an AWP. And NQZ just staying alive has secured that round. Great pickup as well. Win towards trophy, dropping the bomb. That just put the round to bed. 15-13. 2 opportunities for MIBR.
Look at
2
VenomZera.
chances to get that nuke.
I was about to talk about VenomZera's score here, Ted. He's just been such a terribly constant thorn for ShindeN. Very consistent. And Sani playing very aggressive. NQZ there to hopefully mask his teammate's position, but he's now blocked off from access. This HG could also act as a bit of a fake. If ShindeN do end up moving in here, it'll be very hard to predict Insani's angle.
And it's just one player as well, right? So there's no chance for a refrag. Oh, Insani gets spotted.
That nets ShindeN first blood. Off the back of that, though, they do move into a ramp. Bernison falls, and now ShindeN may be considering another alleyway into this round.
Are they going ramp with the bomb, though? They still haven't made their move. NSZ's not seeing anything. Naz is throwing a little bit of caution into the win down B, but no one's really playing.
MIBR need to stick to their guns. Think, though, that they don't have any chance to start rotating. Otherwise, they will get caught. Hoping that ShindeN overcook, but this isn't what's happening. With ShindeN carrying out their patrol into the B site, figuring out that position is empty. And LNZ has a chance to get a pick. I don't think he spotted out on that right-hand side. His aspect ratio doesn't probably cover. But MIBR realized there's no way back in. So this calls for a save, and a fight for Nuke will ensue in the next round.
It came down to patience out of Insani, right? He thought he had a bit of a timing. And Abyss will try and get that AWP out of their hands, but Insani trying to make a move, he thought he had a timing and no one was going to watch outside. He's going to be able to catch them off guard in their tracks. But him going down just opened Pandora's box. It baited LNZ out. He had to go and take care of outside. Then they lose the second player in towards the inner side of the map. Abyss won't be able to get a kill. So they do hold on to these 2 AKs in the AWP. This buyout of MIBR is going to be great. Bonus tactical timeout, of course. Both teams getting an extra 1 in every single set of OTs.
Oh. Yeah, that camera is showing the wall. Not quite the player. Can ShindeN equalize again? Can they deny what MIBR denied of them just a few rounds ago? Pressure's on. Outside?
Gripping up for another outside player, it feels like, yeah. Diagonal smoke's coming in. Again, we're going to see the layered triple smoke. Actually, the layered quad smoke from ShindeN. They've done that multiple times now.
Triple boom.
3 HEs going in from the CT side.
4.
Nothing revealed.
And finally.
Yeah, he's finally able to get a kill.
Whoa. Commitment to that play, and more sprays coming in through the smokes, and that's put a big dent to the attack from ShindeN. Bernison only good for some damage, but Insani being there can mow them down all by himself. Naz is lonely. No friends, no allies. Just 4 players in blue left on the server against him. And it's a swift end to his life to put MIBR on 16 and provide them the first map of the series. Nuke goes into their pockets and ShindeN concede their own map pick.
It really proves to be a little bit of a risk to pick into that Nuke. I know it's easy to say it in hindsight, and it was a very close map, right? We might have not expected it to be that competitive, and they did get an opportunity in regulation to close it out, ShindeN, but MIBR bring it back. They close out another map in overtime. And again, it comes down to the same point. MIBR are putting themselves in positions where they have a comfortable lead. They allow the game to become very close, but they are able to get the win towards the end, which is ultimately the most important thing. venomZero going absolutely huge here, Pablo. 6-2 in opening fights with 4 multi-kill rounds, 6 multi-kill rounds for Insani. LNZ also going positive when it comes down to openers. These 3 had a great performance on that first map.
They really did. They really did. And I feel like that's what's been a difficulty for ShindeN, because even though they had good plans, they had good ideas, their individuals were also firing on a decent level, it's really hard to match MIBR on that sort of situation, right? When it comes to that fragging power, MIBR have pretty much every team covered in this tournament. So even if you are playing at a high level, even if you are punching above your weight, MIBR are always going to have solutions. That was just evident from that game.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And I think for ShindeN, the game is just going to become a little bit more complicated now. Sure. It didn't really feel like they made a lot of misplays or it was the scrappiest game ever. I just feel like that's the highest level opposition that they can face in this qualifier. And when you get one opportunity to run away with the map win, if you don't do that, if you don't capitalize on all these sick non-scopes out of IVs and good moments out of the individuals, you're just ultimately going to suffer. So now we're throwing this one into a little bit of a break. But after that, MIBR are going to be taking us over to Mirage to show us if they can close this one out in a 2-0 fashion and qualify for the grand finals tomorrow. We'll see you in a bit.
built a legacy that defined generations. But history only remembers those who survive what comes next.
Okay, that's some resistance. Okay, maybe you can. Eating my words as
Faster.
a big bullet.
More brutal. Unforgiving. Season 20 is here. Write your name in gold.
Hello and welcome back everybody to the South American Close Qualifiers of StarSeries. One map in where MIBR take over their opponents' map pick on Nuke. Overtime was required, but hey, that was quite the fight coming in. Look, now we've got another map at hand, right? This is the map pick coming in from MIBR. So if everything goes to the realm of reason, Ted, this should be fairly simple for them.
Yeah. I guess it should be, Pavlos. I'm sorry, I was a little bit muted. But at this point, I'm very terrified to say something like that, by the way, because I think we've said that one too many times in so many of these games where we're supposed to have a favorite, but then somehow it goes all the way, right? It was the case with MIBR playing against LP where it went all the way. It was the case with that ShindeN and Imperial game when it went 3 maps. It was the case with Fluxo and Imperial when it went 3 maps. Fluxo and Bounty Hunters, Bestia and Galoris. There's so many of these matchups that we thought were going to be done in 2 maps. So as of right now, I'm just going into that Mirage with an open heart, open mind. I want to see what I can find, basically. But I'm not talking about the song. I'm talking about the Counter-Strike that ShindeN can play when it comes down to this one. Starting on the CT side, they've taken Imperial down twice on Mirage. That has to count for something.
Indeed, indeed. And I think for that reason, ShindeN need some respect here. I mean, they even showed it on the previous map, right? Where we thought, okay, they'd be stepping into dangerous territories, picking up Nuke to begin with, going for that pick, knowing how strong this is for MIBR with the bad performances that they themselves had in the past. But this is a different ShindeN, right? I feel like they've been having a really good tournament, and you're right. If they are firing on a really good individual level, I mean, we're seeing performances out of Ivs, for example, that looked out of this world, and the rest of the squad seemed to rally up nicely around them. So going on to Mirage here, which can get very puggy very easily, ShindeN have a chance to do something very funny here and take MIBR's map pick. Now, that's never going to be easy. We were also making the case of the MIBR individuals, that even at their very flaw, they have a level of quality that is hard to disrupt, you know, sort of punish. So no matter how you put it, a hard fight for ShindeN, but not one without a chance.
Yeah, Mirage is usually a decent one for MIBR, but then again, the last couple of games have been a little bit tricky, right? You're looking at some of the matchups from XSC Pro League, and they did beat Big in a 13-2 fashion, but then they lost to both Paravision and 9Z pretty badly. The LP Mirage was, that was a bit of a scrappy one, right?
Yeah.
And we're gonna get back to it. They were 1v1 away. I still remember the 1v1 on the A-bomb side with Venom Zero from dropping the map. And LP had 3 map points in overtime. So I feel like all in all, we've not seen the best face of MIBR so far in this event, which could be a little bit concerning, but it's also another factor that we've kind of overlooked since the start of the qualifier. With these types of domestic qualifiers, it's very difficult to be very dominant because everyone knows you, right?
Fair.
You are playing against people from your own region. They know your playstyle. They know you. They probably watch all of your games, even on an international level. They've studied your game very, very in depth, and also they are very eager to prove themselves against MIBR, against some of the top teams of this region. So I feel like it is only natural for them to be experiencing some issues, but getting a 2-0 win here against ShindeN would definitely put some of the fires to rest.
Well, without any further ado, let's get into the action. It's ShindeN versus MIBR to get things going on Mirage. 1 map up is MIBR, so winning Mirage would put ShindeN into the lower bracket. Not all would be lost, but an excellent opportunity to get into the grand finals. The top 2 of this event would be missed from this. It is looking like an A-site posturing from the MIBR squad. And after the first flash, the flood comes through. Insani landing a headshot onto Fragedy. Tommy Jed also gets overwhelmed by the numbers. And with that, the access for free for MIBR.
All right, Nas is still sticking around. In towards the stairs, that is. Insani with yet another good opening alongside Burnzan. And that's been, I guess, one of the most interesting conversations when it comes down to MIBR as a team, Pavlos, is Insani's development, right? He's one of these players that were rumored to even leave the team now in the player break. That was when people started speaking about him going over to Legacy. Allegedly, he didn't want to sign the Legacy contract. Then he decided to stay on MIBR. Now, his contract is running out at the end of this season, right? And I think it's obvious for a lot of people that for the last maybe 2 or 3 years, he's been one of the brightest talents in Brazil. Basically, the type of a position that K Serato was in at the start of his tenure with Furia years ago, back in 2018, 2017 even. So I feel like with Insani, he is the player on this team that could be a difference maker. Now, you've got guys like Venom Zero, and obviously NQZ is a very high-level prospect as well, and he's a pretty complete oper. But Insani is a world-class prospect. So he's the type of a guy that could get going on the server and then the game just ends. It's just over. He's the closest they've got to a world-class player.
He wasn't the highlight player from the previous map. And maybe here he could be. Venom Zero gets spooked with the molly in hand there, but gets his SMG out quick enough. Naz revealing themselves. This is a trap from ShindeN. They've set up 4 players on the defense here. Abyss on the lower end. Tommy also finding good damage onto Burnison as he already was low. LNZ though goes berserk. Double headshot and maybe his way into the site. Spearheading this attack. Wanting to take it a step forward. He's respecting Naz, which is a good thing to do. Awesome shots have been landing from Naz, but LNZ might be the difference maker. With this kill, it would be the quad piece, but Fraggerty does land the headshot, and ShindeN already from round 2 answering back.
They're just dropping the ball instantly, MIBR, walking into the stack, and it felt like with the double kill out of LNZ, they were going to be able to bring it back, but it's not meant to be. Insani going down to the deke, Venom Zero getting 1 deked as well. You can essentially say that MIBR had a golden opportunity, a golden ticket, and they decided to throw it away and take the paper one. He didn't even get a bomb plant, down to the pistols only. Shout out to Lorgar, the official StarSeries PCs. Go and check them out with their platform Lorgar ready to play. Or click the banner below the stream. That's the easiest way to access that. Depop coming up.
Very similar with last time. This time, not as big of a setup, but rifles available. Fraggerty ends up with a pick on the other end. The push from LNZ doesn't quite work out, but there's enough space for the bomb plant, unlike the previous round. It was a bit disjointed with the rest of the team. Goes in first.
NQC's got a gun.
Audio Q for the jump, so NQC knows of this push and ends up with a double. Low health now onto Tommy, and the answer back from MIBR. How about that?
That's such a margin round, by the way. If you're watching this, you're feeling sorry for ShindeN because they spammed the smoke. They were aware that NQZ could have been there. So NQZ picks up the gun in towards Modi, right? He walks a little bit to the left, not wide enough for him to get spotted on the edge of the smoke. But when they start spamming the right-hand side in towards Modi, he's too much to the left for the bullets to reveal him. So he plays this one perfectly, and then they start going out. It sets up NQZ for a double kill with the M4. It's such a massive response out of MIBR. Leaves him in the 1v1, and Sani just needed 1 body shot to connect. Very high impact. And NQZ, of course, the one player whose career we're, I think, all very invested into. Suddenly, MIBR became a very exciting team for me. I know Klim was already a very exciting oper. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Right, they're not going to let him get the gun. But I know Klim was already a very exciting oper, but there is something that makes me feel like, mood-wise, NQZ might be a little bit better for this team. And also, I never thought that he had issues with his individual performance on Pain. So the benching situation, I thought was a bit of a bummer from their end. But NQZ on this team, I think, has the potential to take them to a whole nother level. And for someone that at the age of 21 has already played 5 majors and he's been a major semi-finalist, that was in Austin with Pain last year.
Fair.
I think now you've got suddenly both NQZ and Insani on the same team, led by LNZ, who's one of the most experienced younger IGLs out there. That becomes a pretty exciting team.
It's exciting. There's no doubt about that. And there is a gap between them and the next best South American team. You know, other than Furia at the top, right? We're not having that discussion. We're talking about the rest, right? But it's a matter of consistent showings, and they haven't been playing too many South American tournaments. This is one of the few that they've dropped into, requiring a qualifier to make it to a main event. They are coming in as the first seed, and this is where they need to show that they can be resilient against some of the more unpredictable teams, the ones that can create chaos and basically make you think on the fly. So I feel like this is a good test for MIBR. Mid push coming through from ShindeN, and they do get away
They
with it.
have been losing a lot of opening fights, MIBR. Just realized. You think about it, even with the pistols, but at least they've got someone to respond. That's a great triple spray down out of Venom Zero. It's getting warmed up. You know, now people are not talking about the fact that he's got Zero at the end of this nickname. In Brazil, that was such a massive thing over the course of a couple of years because of Cold, obviously. It's kind of like having the 1 in your nickname because of Simple if you're coming out of the CIS region. You can ask Hetrick and Rinko about it. So many zeros. You've got Cold Zero, Cobra Zero, Bigu Zero, Venom Zero.
It's just the...
One of them is Mongolian, obviously. We have to put out that disclaimer, but...
It's a rite of passage. In a way, you gotta show you deserve the Zera sometimes.
Or you can just embrace it and be like, I'm a Cold Zero fan, but I'm bad at the game, and just name yourself Poo Zero.
Head Zera.
Actually has a decent ring to it.
Yeah.
But I am bad at the game.
What about X Zera?
Sorry?
X Zera.
X Zera. So what, you've been good
you know?
once?
Yeah.
Oh, X Warrior. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah. No worries.
X Zero. Yeah, but it doesn't carry your identity.
No, it doesn't. Oh dear.
It's like Pavlos Zero.
Yeah, true. So Venom Zero goes down to friendly fire. This is the third kill that falls to a friendly hands in the series so far. Maybe more, but I could definitely count 3.
It is 3, and all of them on the T side, interestingly enough.
Abez, this is a brilliant position. He can hear a lot of commotion. The thing is, there's 2 approaching, so even if one misses the mark, which they won't, there is always the answer. Now, the pace is on towards this B site, full speed ahead, and Naz realizes has to step up massively, won't be able to do so, so the round is down and out.
We are starting to get up to that point where it feels like MIBR are just so locked in, right? Even the fact that Burnson is aware of the possibility of a player being in towards Steve, even though Insani's coming in up under. This is just good communication out of MIBR. It's just talking about the ifs, buts, and maybes, not leaving a stone unturned. Kill distribution is looking great. Venom 0 on 8 kills LNZ on 8, and it feels like LNZ's been able to navigate the map very well on that T side. Very clutch shots out of the individuals too, MIBR. I don't want to say it, but in terms of just becoming the bearer of bad news, but MIBR could be running away with this one in 2 if they keep it going like this on the T side.
Look at you, buzzkill, Ted.
Oh, no, I'm not a buzzkill anymore because my hairline doesn't allow me to go for the buzz cut.
I said buzzkill, not buzzcut, you idiot.
No, I know. I just turned it around. There's no need to call me that. I heard what you said. I'm just trolling, you know.
I know, I just wanted to call you an idiot.
Yeah, I got it.
It's very satisfying.
Whatever makes you feel in the mood, man.
Look, I feel inferior when it comes to
Whatever
the smart
tickles
department.
your
You're definitely the
fancy.
smarter of the two of us, so I get pleasure calling you an idiot. Tommy, first pick is his. The only rifle, by the way, for ShindeN. And MIBR could end up in a really difficult spot if they end up for this A push.
They've seen the Palace player.
Round's been left untouched. You do have burners in further back, making sure no one's playing over aggressive. NQZ, a big chunk taken away from him. He answers back onto Ivs' shoulder. But that pick from Insani is very necessary to relieve some of the pressure onto MIBR right now.
That was the rifle as well, but he dropped the M4, so it was just the pistols left now. Insani definitely helping out. NQZ is still low on HP, right? So for him, it's terrifying, but at least he's going to group up with Burnzan.
Bernison does end up with a pick. Insani overstays it welcome in mid. Obviously, the boost from Abbas gives him a nice lay of the land, and an AK found by Abbas complicates the endeavor. But Venom Zera from Palace is damn clean. Beautiful sequence from him, a double kill. And now Naz will just try and deny the bomb plant, gets there a little bit too late. And with that, MIBR increase the lead by an extra round.
The rounds are becoming scrappy and they're going down to the wire, but MIBR is somehow able to find very impactful kills to get back into them, right? Tommy, that was a bit of a weird timing. He was even dropping down from the ledge on the fate of the smoke. Venom Zero with a good sequence. It is a round that could become very scrappy if the triple player is allowed to play before his teammates go down, but they kind of overextend a little bit. Shout out ATK, our peripherals partner. Go and check them out. Click the banner below the stream and pay attention to the right-hand side of your screens for that giveaway pop-up. MIBR with a bit of a different pace to this one, going for a straight-up A exec.
And there's no messing around. Full steam ahead. So site will be secured, but we're looking at a 4v4 retake. The bomb won't be able to go down. Good money placement from ShindeN. It buys time for Abbas to also join.
Nice nade. They need someone to go through CT. If you're retaking with everyone from Jungle and Con, it's going to be very difficult. So they're rotating 3 players there.
Nade softening up Insani, so he'll have a harder time trying to take the fight over from Ticket Booth. And here is a CT push. 3 players strong. Insani good for the one. LNZ also spotted out early, so this gives ShindeN the numbers advantage. Out into the open is Venom Zera.
Oh my god.
But this is where he's able to get a nice off angle onto Abbas. Connects another headshot and is up next opponent. The last player is low! And Venom Zera has done it again! A quad piece to clutch! And MIBR are unrelentless!
This guy is so bloody crisp. Look at him go. Venom Zera. That's beautiful. That's some very high-level shooting right there. Look at these mechanics. He's like a beast. Look at the headshots. He was so low on HP as well. I thought he was going to go down to the jungle player straight away. He probably should have. And look at that sequence. Instant flick into the head. Second guy, same story. Venom Zero is just instantaneous with these shots. By the way, people called you toxic in the chat for calling me an idiot. How do you feel about that?
I'm all right with that.
It is the truth.
Occasionally, yeah.
Yeah.
Aren't we all toxic sometimes? I feel like it's part of life.
That's gaslighting technique.
It keeps life interesting, you know?
Sure.
It keeps life fun.
Try that on someone else, buddy.
Chat, you're toxic, okay?
And now he's tried the know you. It's getting better and better.
Using every part of the ABC book.
All right. Can ShindeN win this round and gaslight MIBR that this is the end of the world, even though they already have a 7-1 lead? Well, answer is probably no, as Burnson has just entered the bomb side on a double entry. That's going to be 8 rounds on the T side already. MIBR having their eyes set on that grand final spot tomorrow. And that would be a clean run going there. And that's the big difference as well, by the way, for someone like MIBR. If you were to ask both Fluxo and Bestia, for them, as they got dropped into the lower bracket straight away, they play 1 best of 3 in the upper bracket. And then in the lower, they need to win 4 best of 3s just to make the grand final. So in reality, they're playing 6 BO3s to qualify. For MIBR, that could be 4. Because they've already picked up 2. They win here. They go over to tomorrow's grand final. It's just 4 best of 3s in a row. That's what they need.
Fair point.
And it feels like they're getting the 3rd one here and now.
Let's not get up ahead of ourselves, given that ShindeN have another buy around here. But it is basically a must-win for them. Recession followed up after a defeat. And MIBR threatening on 9. Can get quite dangerous, but it is looking like a B-side posture. A lot of mid-presence as well is going to deny these rotations. Tommy's going to get B kept busy as MIBR cross into B. Avids finding higher ground, but Bernardsson still connects on the headshot quickest. Without B-side control, ShindeN probably want to call this off.
At this point, you probably have to go for rounds like these. That's a big kill out of Tommy, but you can't really afford to keep on saving it. NQC's actually walked into the opener. They might be giving this one away. Burnsson's good for just 1. LNZ left in a 1v2 clutch. Fraggity's burned down to 28 HP.
He lost 72 HP off of that molly. That's going to deny the plant together with the HG. Oh boy. Down to the duel, 1v1, and LNZ takes 1 step to the right, lands a screamer of a headshot, and just catapults himself as an MVP in that round.
Fraggity, he regrets the fact that he took so much damage from that initial Molotov, right? Because if he doesn't, the HE doesn't get the kill on him. The Molotov missed out of LNZ. It's just the fact that he tags himself that allows LNZ to get the kill with the HE. That was supposed to be around that MIBR throw out the window. They just overpeaked a little bit, overextended, but LNZ saves the day. 9-1 on the T side. And again, no money for the CTs. This is a complete whitewash. One of the most commanding performances of the entire tournament. It started with an overtime on Nuke, but now MIBR are looking very strong. And one of the previous ones was the 13-2 that they played as well on Nuke earlier in this event against LP.
What's the plan this time around? LNZ taken down early.
Don't lose hope, though. We still have, even if this one ends up being a very one-sided affair, we still have Fluxo and Bestia. And I feel like if we're judging off of what they've shown us so far in the event, that's going to be a very tight game.
Should be a very close match. I'll tell you what, ShindeN may have more in them in this half than expected. Of course, in ShindeN fashion, Deagles are having a large effect. Thank you, Z. Goes down. VenomZero is not going to check Sandwich. He's a dead man. Even though he finds frag for his spoils. Bernardsson overwhelmed as Ivs has upgraded his rifle. And it turns out this half is not going to be as a simple ordeal as MIBR would have liked.
I mean, they are getting 9 rounds bare minimum on the T side. So it's more of a question of can ShindeN put themselves in a position where if potentially they have 3 rounds here, they win the pistol, they win the conversions, maybe first buy round, second half, and then they can make it a bit more competitive, right? It's a very weird situation where there's too many ifs, buts, and maybes, but at least they exist. If it is a 2-10 score, then it's basically game over. 9-3, maybe you can work with.
Ooh. Fraggity. Fraggity. Double out of nowhere. And with Iv's contribution, this is it from MIBR. So a bit anticlimactic to close out the half. Let's see if Insani and LNZ have got any madness left in them. Ivs has got a great corner he scoped into. Hard to imagine he's not good for one.
See, the only thing we've not seen is a 2v5 so far on this map.
Fair.
So maybe that's the one, you know? Maybe
Shot
this
missed.
is where MIBR just break their backs. Who knows? They've got time, and they are on the bomb side. And Sani with a blinder of a shot onto Ivs.
Abyss is making noise. I think he was at least, and I believe Insani has heard him.
Yeah.
So there is the element of having to look behind, but it's a bit of a distraction play coming in from Abyss. Insani finding a good angle, but the trade transfer at that distance is just too difficult to control. And with that, ShindeN close the gap ever slightly by the end of this half, 2 consecutive, to give them something as a mental boost to think about heading on to the next. A 9-3 half to put MIBR in pole position as we get into the next stage of Mirage. Shout out to Stake as we get into the latter stage of the game. 1 map already to the good for MIBR. So winning the next 4 rounds, or at least 4 in total, on the CT side will give them qualification to the grand final at the South American close qualies of StarSeries.
QZ, important position. Joe Brett is gonna get tested, and he got the test with flying grades. That was one of the quickest pistol rounds you ever see. NQZ and Insani having a walk in the park.
So when there's a flood, you hope there's a bucket. When there's a stack push, you hope there are dualies. NQZ using these guns to perfection. And together with Insani, it's just simple work. Holy. That feels like a bit like a backbreaker, don't you think, Ted?
Yeah. They've just won the pistol, and it's such a one-sided one that it's just Insani and NQZ that keep it going. Those two, they apparently have not received the memo that they've got a bunch of teammates that really want to play the game and go alongside them.
I don't think they mind, Ted, to be honest.
No.
All right,
Lady, I'm sorry, but we're in the middle of a game. I'm sorry, but we're doing something important here.
She was building an outfit, man. Respect it.
We're doing something important. It's Counter-Strike. Get the hell out of here.
Excuse my friend, person in the background.
Yeah, no, we are kidding. If it's allowed for Allison, it's allowed for NQZ as well. It's not the first time it's happened.
No.
Yeah. Hey, Allison's friend missed the memo that he has to have a t-shirt on. Oh my goodness.
Well, this is looking fairly straightforward. LNZ is having a field day right now. Insani's spree has been stopped, however. The rest of MIBR are closing in. That's a lot of damage done by the ShindeN players. Is with a Galil getting quite a lot done, but the HE marks the end of his life. Careful though. Tommy's lurk has created a funny opportunity. A 1v1. LNZ, can you make it a quad piece?
Seen him.
And with that, we'll take the fight to his opponent, a giant Kryn. Coming in from Venom Zera. 12-3 on the board for MIBR. Only one round required for a 2-0 and grand final qualification.
I don't know if you share the same sentiment, but I feel like LNZ's been very mechanically sharp since the start of this qualifier. He just has these moments where you can see the short strafes. You can clearly tell that he's worked on it. He's 15-8. And that's not the first map where he's had a couple of these sequences that look very satisfying.
Ted, the way you describe that is as if you saw someone after a long time, saw their gains and said, oh, you've been working out.
Yeah, basically. That's what it looks like. It's like you've not been with your friend to the gym for 3 or 4 months. You go together and
I'm like, ooh, you've been working on those
and
squats,
you're like,
man.
and you're like, oh, the deadlifts, the form is looking good. You've put an extra 20, 30 kg.
Damn, that's growth.
Yeah. Looks very clean out of LNZ.
Yeah. Talk about quality. Quality PCs available by Lorga. Check the banner below for more information on that. The tech pause has put a stop to the game. Tech pauses are MIBR's biggest enemy, I think, Ted. Oh, I can hear ticks on the server. That's positive news. Should be.
Yeah. Maybe it was just a game crash, you know, and now everything's going to be all right and players going to be back and we can keep it going. MIBR. Yeah, it is a game crash. We just got the confirmation from production, so we should be able to resume very shortly. But MIBR have put themselves in a very good position, and I think for them, we're talking about it in the big scheme of things. It's a very important result to make it into the grand final without a lot of issues, right? Especially because of how the season started. Now, the Cologne Major, and then before that, CS Asia Championships. I thought CS Asia Championships was a very good performance out of them. Obviously, we're talking about results with Klim, right? But they made top 4 there. Then they went into Cologne. They made it past stage 1. Stage 2 was a little bit disappointing because they did destroy Legacy in the first round. But then they lost to Spirit, Big, and Bait, and they got eliminated. XSC Pro League Guangzhou was a bag of mixed results. They lost an overtime game to Bait, but ended up taking down Face Clan very one-sidedly, Big Clan very one-sidedly. Then they lost an incredibly competitive best-of-3 against Harry Vision, but 2 of the maps they got completely dominated on. And then 9Z were able to take him out. So I think it's been a while since they had a very positive result. Going to an event and feeling like you've done the job, right? The last time they probably experienced that was ESO Challenger League Season 51 South America Cup 1, which happened in February. And that was the last time they actually won anything. And we're talking about 1-1. Obviously, it's a bit different when you go to the big events. Even if you don't win, you could be happy, but it is a good feeling to go and just be first place at something, right? For the mental of the team.
Completely agreed. Completely agreed. Now, MIBR winning 1 round here will not net them a tournament win, but the close qualifier and qualification into StarSeries could be theirs if they do win their next match. Okay, the pistol showing a little bit more of resilience, and Sani is able to trade his life. Not impossible for burners in an NQZ, but these players from behind are a bit of a nuisance. So good play from Tommy to deny Burners' rotation. ShindeN will be sticking around a little longer.
Yeah, I don't think NQZ really wants to go for this.
No. It will be a save of the AWP. It is an expensive rifle after all.
Yeah, he doesn't really need to, right? They've got a pretty big buffer when it comes down to the rounds. It's more of a matter of when they close it out, not as much a matter of if they do.
Completely agreed. That being said, Ted, this is, I think, the most sided we've seen MIBR on a map so far in this tournament. I feel like there have been some good tests coming in from various teams. It hasn't been as clean from the squad.
It was just that nuke, Right, just that nuke against LP, which was the third map, the 13-2. Right, that was very...
Right, okay, never mind. I take it back.
That was very
you're
clean. But we can put these two on par, right?
Sure. They nearly ended up dropping Nuke as well this time around. But they showed resilience, forcing overtime and then being the ones in command. This is looking like a B stack. Smoke to block them off for now. Venom Zera posturing towards the B site as well.
If they do get
many
the kill
quick
onto,
rotations.
yeah, if they do get the kill into Abyss early on, this could work out. LNZ is going to get a boost to get inside of the apartments, and Venom Zero can probably jump and try and take the attention away. He's got an incendiary smoke and a flash as well. So this is good to Yuto. He can replenish that smoke in front of LNZ.
MIBR deciding that mid is no longer a point of interest. Here comes a push.
Team kill. Again?
So it's a one-on-one at the end. The ramp push seals the idea that this is going to be a big commitment. Venom Zera is alone. Molly gets him out of the position, which means ShindeN now have the numbers advantage, and MIBR have got a lot of heavy lifting to do.
Because he's up here. You don't want to give him opportunities. They seem ready for the player in towards top middle, by the way. I think they've heard him, so they're going to get the kill into Abyss. That should be a given, but they do allow him to get another pickup before they do that. Oh, he's killed Insani as well.
And he gets the pick onto NQZ. Abyss in that round gets more kills than he had the entirety of the game so far.
I'm not really sure how they let him get a kill. They knew exactly where he was. They had him surrounded, and he's still able to get two of them.
All right. So ShindeN are looking to gap close a little bit here. Still hard to imagine MIBR don't have that one round in them. But you've got to respect ShindeN's effort.
It shouldn't be possible.
No. But it looks like this is just an easy putt in for a birdie. Revolver coming in from Insani. You don't see revolvers often.
Okay.
He's gotten two.
Flying revolver. It is a bit
Remember
funny.
when the revolver got released and it was just the most OP thing ever?
Yeah.
What a fever dream.
I hated it.
It was so funny. Launched the game. Oh, revolver's released. Everyone's just one-shotting everyone in every single game. It was so funny. Bit of a stack for MIBR towards this A site this time around. All players strong. Posturing on a ramp push. They're clearing out quite a bit of space. Thing is, the fact that ramp is clear doesn't mean Palace is clear. Abyss is chilling nearby.
The bomb is still dropped top middle. I wonder if one of them wants to stick around and go and re-clear Palace, by the way, or both of them just go despawn, because they should know there could be a player in Palace.
Yeah, Venom Zera is paying attention towards that location, but that could also provide the opportunity for Abyss to push into A.
They can drop the bomb. They can just end the round. The Oper's not turning around to check his back. He's got no reason to. It's just about playing the trigger discipline. Burson doesn't do that. He can play max damage, try and drop the bomb. There goes one. Refrag comes in. That's the bomb drop. They need to go back.
Oh boy. Bottom in no man's land right now. And even though they have side control, that's not where MIBR have put up their defenses. LNZ coming in from under. That's the pick, but now you have to navigate dangerous waters. The smoke in mid has caused a crossing from Naz. LNZ reads it quick enough, but Abyss on the hot seat, 15 seconds. This is not going to be down to a bomb plant. You need the picks. And MIBR are just hiding away from him. It's not even fair. He's chasing, he's running, he's spraying. Hail Mary galore. But MIBR are able to secure it eventually, a 2-0 to put them in the grand final spot.
Yeah, MIBR coming into this qualifier and playing exactly like the favorite that they are. It hasn't been that easy, right? They've had some tight maps against basically every single opponent that they've played, but especially some of these statements. The last map against LP on Nuke the other day, which was a 13-2. This Mirage against ShindeN, regardless of that little hiccup in towards the end, I thought was a very, very solid performance. Nuke might have not been as sure as a thing, but what we're seeing out of MIBR is the level of security that we're not really seeing out of a lot of the other favorites, and that is whenever they need to win a map in order to close out the game, they're doing so very one-sidedly.
Indeed, right? No third map required here. I mean, the big highlight for us has got to be LNZ being such a constant. And I mean, the multi-kills he's been getting in some of these sites, in some of these clutch situations, are just clean. They're swift. I mean, and we were making the comparison of him working out and looking buff. Well, he has been putting the pracs in, the grind in, and it's definitely showing today.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think all in all, MIBR is that type of a team that should be making it into the grand final. And with time, you're starting to see their game being a little bit cleaner. I still feel like there's some scenarios where you're putting a lot of trust into LNZ overperforming individually, or Insani or Venom Zero having a great moment. But we shouldn't be looking over the fact that LNZ's played a very, very good and strong individual game, which, again, kudos to him. It was great. And for the side of ShindeN, I feel like they knew that the moment that they let that Nuke slip, it was always going to be a tough matchup. The good news for them is that this was just the upper bracket, right? So they'll still get an opportunity tomorrow to bounce back. They will be playing against the winner of Fluxo and Bestia, so it's not the end of the world. They did drop this series to MIBR, could have taken it to a third, but they just had to close out on Nuke.
Okay. And while this may have not been a lower bracket game, the next match, folks, is Fluxo versus Bestia, taking up one another for qualification, but also remainance in the tournament. This is a really tough game, folks, a very interesting one. Make sure you stay tuned after the break. We'll be back.